Helping everyone see. I'm Jeff Weinstein. The practice they advertise is long gone, but two giant eyes on a rickety optometrist billboard still watch over a valley of ashes. It's a dismal place where ashes take the form of houses and chimneys and rising smoke, and finally, men who move dimly and already crumbling through the powdery air. That fictional industrial valley is the result of rapacious American greed, or so greed's impassioned witness F. Scott Fitzgerald wrote in The Great Gatsby, from which that passage was taken. As it happens, oddly similar scenes would later be illustrated and illuminated by the work of a real-life optometrist who turned photographer. The equally impassioned witness, Milton Rogovin, died January 18th at his home in Buffalo, New York, at the age of 101. Rogovin spent the last half of a long life using his camera to record those very same ashes in order to brush them away. What can this century's photography students think of such an outwardly modest man, now that art making and creativity are so bound up with career and cash? Slight cardigan-clad Rogovin sought neither money nor capital F fame. His dogged, black-and-white documentation of those he called the forgotten ones, mine workers, steel workers, Native Americans, the town and country poor of all races, especially black, could be dismissed by art world formalists as politically but not artistically important. A worthy record, sure. His negatives and contact sheets are part of the Library of Congress, yet still just record-keeping, evidence of lives that a better economy and brighter future would erase. Erase lives? No, exactly the opposite. These are regular people and we must not abandon them in any way, the driven photographer once said. Rejecting Rogovin for his political impulse would be a tremendous mistake, and for two reasons. His individual shots, like those of photodocumentarians Jacob Riis, Dorothea Lange, and Roy DeCarava, can be both potent and paradoxically exquisitely beautiful. Certain eyes know exactly how to find the diamond in the dust. But also like his predecessors, Rogovin himself stands as a tonic example, his whole enterprise a humanist slap to the faces of those who hide behind art to ignore the world. Son of Lithuanian Jewish parents who ran a dry goods store that went bust in the Great Depression, Brooklyn-born Rogovin got a degree and set up optometry shop. Soon the city's breadlines turned him, like so many angry others, toward socialist ideals. He moved upstate to Buffalo, married lifelong partner Ann Snetsky, and gave eye exams to union workers. Buffalo was then a factory town. He also joined the Buffalo branch of the Communist Party. In 1957, Rogovin refused to answer when questioned by the House Un-American Activities Committee, was named top red in Buffalo in a newspaper headline, lost much of his business, but with new free time, took up photography. Tentative first studies were made during early trips to Mexico, and ultimately he took cameras to villages, mines, and factories in Appalachia, Zimbabwe, Spain, Cuba, China. He didn't travel lightly, Pablo Neruda wrote, when Rogovin arrived at the Chilean poet's home, quote, but he carried much more than his equipment, eyes patient and searching, a heart sensitive to light, to rain, to shadows. Yet Buffalo's east and lower west sides were Rogovin's lodestones. Black hands clasp, curl, stretch. Faces are intent on song, study, prayer, all undiminished by cracked plaster or makeshift altars. When in 1962, Storefront Churches was published in the prestigious magazine Aperture with an introduction by W.E.B. Du Bois, the photo world, at least, took notice. Its 26 images take us inside the East Side's raucous places of worship, not as intruders or voyeurs, but as silent, equal guests. Motion is made film noir expressive by use of the bare bulb strobe, shown to the 50-year-old newbie by expert Minor White. But the straight-on concern for subject that characterizes all of Rogovin's work suffuses every single shot. That's where his artistic power lies. In 2009, the photographer explained how he treated those he wanted to photograph. I never directed them or told them where to stand, how to hold their hands, or what to wear. The only thing I asked them was to look at the camera. I liked it when I saw their eyes, and that's when I knew I was ready to make their picture. When you look at these pictures, you know there was no monkey business, and that I was not sneaking around trying to steal pictures of people. He kept going back and back to Buffalo's Lower West Side to find and salute its ordinary denizens, fathers, sons, shopkeepers, mothers, daughters, bartenders, nurses, loners, lovers. Few are white, most seem poor, all were proudly recorded. An affectionate obituary in the Buffalo News includes this detail. Until last month, Mr. Rogovin, the retired optometrist and World War II veteran, even participated regularly in a weekly anti-war vigil held at Bidwell Parkway and Elmwood Avenue, holding a sign that read, "Fund health care, not warfare." Apparently, to artist and activist Milton Rogovin's credit, he was always himself.